for you. When you're in a team situation, it's much different because there's going to be people around you. So being adaptable, fitting in both situations is very good for us as players to be able to, you know, when we're alone, if something goes bad, reset, and also in a team environment, reset as well.
My special strategy is to meditate when the challenging moment comes. I actually learned it in university and it's really helpful for me. I don't try to think about any moments, I just try to clear my mind. Well, if I clear everything out, my mind becomes really peaceful, so I can focus on gameplay more.
Yeah, of course I get help from my coach and also my teammate in console. Yeah, they're giving me their advice.
The coach obviously in certain situations will tell us what we need to do. Maybe he has an outside perspective as well, so he can tell us things that we might not see because we're so focused on what we're doing. So he has a very important role, and obviously it helps us a lot as well as players because we get another perspective on what's going on.
I try to be as calm as possible, not too much pressure because pressure will make me make a mistake and that's not what I want. I just believe in myself and that's it, because my motivation is that I can do it and that's the spirit.
To be fair, I'm still thinking how to cope. I think the idea is not thinking how to cope and just act. And that's how I cope, just acting.
I represent one of the biggest country in the world, Indonesia. That is my biggest motivation.
Yeah, massive differences, aren't there, between 2v2, we saw earlier, and 1v1. It's lovely to have that team around you, that you've got that support network. You know, if things don't go all your own way, you have someone to lean back on. But then there's maybe something nice about doing it solo and really going, I've done this all on my own, Chris.
Absolutely, but if you have a terrible game, you've got nobody else to carry you as well, though. So there's two sides to the coin. But absolutely, I think, you know, when you're doing it yourself, you almost can, you know, at least lay the blame at your own door. It doesn't have to be about this whole breakdown of how things have went wrong. And again, you can take all of that credit yourself as well. So yeah, it's really nice for them though to have that support team around them. We see so many of them that it's like they've got a whole staff here. And it's incredible to see that. But yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic to 2v2.
Whereas do eFootball players prefer 2v2 or going solo?
I mean, I personally preferred playing co-op when I competed because, as you quite rightly said, you can have a little bit of an off day in co-op, and then your teammates can kind of drag you along. That I had more off days than non-days, I can tell you that for nothing. But when you're competing 1v1, it is so isolating, especially when you're on the live stream, especially when the lights are on you, the camera's on you, the pressure then ramps up. We talked about all the intangibles at length over the last day and a half or so. But they all add up, and then it can get too much for some, and you can just see people crumble. Whereas with co-op, you do have that ability to just kind of lean on others a little bit more.
I guess on the other side, though, most people just train on their own, in bedrooms, at home, in living rooms. So actually, they never have that comfort blanket anyway. They maybe are only actually playing them online. So that's not too dissimilar to what they're experiencing here.
I mean, everybody here would have picked up a version of eFootball at one stage on their own. They would have either, played other games and then said, no, I want to give that one a go. Or they'll have stayed home and got it as a present at a holiday time. And they would have started playing on their own. This is the bread and butter of what you do as a gamer. You are most of the time on your own. You get in these teams further down the line, absolutely. But this is originally what you always did. So you should be fine.
I'm looking behind me as well. Indonesia actually look like they're doing 2v2. They've got two players sat next to each other. Quite a lot of the teams actually do at the moment. And we haven't separated the desks like we did yesterday. We're having a whole switch up in here when it comes to studio between the consoles and mobiles. The production team are working, let me tell you, basically 24 hours a day to make this event happen. Well, something we've been speaking about is our Axe Player of the Day, and Chris did the nominees yesterday. So Chris is going to announce who our winner is from day one.
Let's see it then. I don't know who's won. I know who I nominated, but who was the winner? And it was Tienes, of course. Fantastic performance from him on his nation for the Moroccan side. A phenomenal performance. So, as far as the vote goes, though, that surprised me a little bit. I was honestly expecting to see Daniel up there after his absolute whitewash in his group, but yeah, Tienes, fantastic as well.
I think Wes and I are nodding as well. Probably the amount of fans from India who are also watching, the amount of people that would be supporting someone like him, that does surprise us a bit because he was so good yesterday.
Yeah, he was fantastic yesterday. But in terms of Morocco's fandom, they are one of the most passionate nations on the planet. Let me tell you, we certainly saw it from the real World Cup. It certainly transfers itself to eFootball here. We certainly saw how the console guys acted when they were through, and Tienes as a player himself is brilliant, and he's well worth that award.
And Morocco could have two teams in the quarterfinals. Have done it on the console side of things. Can they do it on the mobile? That would be exciting. And something else which is exciting is, I'm sure, how everybody's feeling down there on the stage. And Veracity is down there to tell us more.
We're about to kick things off with day 2 of our group stages and our final day of group stages here at the FIFA World Cup featuring eFootball. We've just seen console being packed up and done. Japan were unfortunately knocked out of the running, but can this be their redemption arc on mobile? Only time will tell. I'm super excited for these games.
Only time will tell, indeed. Thanks, Veracity. Okay, schedule looks like this for this evening. So there's only 3 rounds. Remember, tonight, opposed to 4 that we saw yesterday. We've got the likes of Indonesia, Japan, Brazil, India, Morocco taking on Malaysia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Malaysia, and first up, it's India undefeated against undefeated Korea Republic. We couldn't get a better game to kick things off, could we, Wes?
We definitely couldn't. In terms of these two nations, we saw what they were capable of yesterday. And then, as you already said, the question is can they go ahead and replicate that here today? That is the big one, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to what we have had 2 different days when it came down to console, and I wonder if it's going to be a similar story. I'd be extremely shocked if India didn't just come out and continue on where they were, or at least make the knockout stages, of course. But I think, realistically speaking, things can change very, very quickly for either one of these 2 teams, though. They're going in against strong opposition.
Yeah, well, there it is. India taking on the Korea Republic. 2 massive players representing 2 massive nations. Whereas in terms of this one as well, what would it mean just to get this first win under your belt? And secondly, how many more changes can you possibly make on the mobile side of things compared to what we maybe saw earlier on the console side of things?
Well, you've had a little bit more freedom in terms of your game plan. Like we certainly saw, yesterday there was some kind of throwing the kitchen sink, to use the UK parlance, where, it was 3-3-4 was a formation that I saw deployed, which I don't think any console player would even dream of deploying, but it's from where you need to have that pressure. To get this on the board, especially for India, that would cement that top spot really and take it away from everybody else. For Korea Republic, though, it would close the gap, and that's why it's, first v second to kick off the day is such a vital game to watch.
Yeah, exactly. We spoke about the Indian player, Denial. He's called, obviously, on his gamer tag as well. A lot yesterday. Instead of talking about him today, should we just hear from him? Here he is.
So my name is Daniel Patel and my gamer tag is Daniel, and the country I'm representing is India. It's amazing because this is my first tournament as well, and as a young debutant, it feels amazing. Representing your own nation is anyone's dream, yeah. And as a young player as well, representing India, it's amazing for me. I know this is my first tournament, but my aim is to win the competition, no matter what. A very good achievement for India as well, making my own country proud. That's everyone's dream come true. To win, you have to show the enthusiasm, passion, and you have to be good at the game as well. Just keep supporting me. I won't let you down, guys, and I'll perform at my best. I'll give my 100%.
I absolutely love his ambition. He's absolutely fearless. His first major event, and he's going out and doing the business without even caring who else is around him and what other accolades they've ever achieved.
Yeah, it can be such a freeing thing. Your first tournament ever, it can work in your favour to be your debut. It's just a case that you can just throw the shackles off and you've got no fear of anybody because you don't know who's here.
I mean, it just shows that some people can handle pressure, and that is sometimes a big difference maker. Everybody can play well to a certain degree at home, but then coming under these lights in this scenario and not just playing well, playing like he has, is absolutely incredible. 19 goals for, only 3 conceded, won all 4 of his games. Got his toughest one coming up next.
Keep playing like he is and he'll go far in the world of eFootball. Well, it is India taking on Korea Republic, both nations undefeated as it stands. This is the one we all wanted to see. This is going to be box office. eFootball on the mobile side of things. 3 rounds left to play here for a place in those quarterfinals tomorrow. We're going to hand down to our casters now to get it started. Let's go.
Could not have summed it up better myself, Rachel, and the death. Thank you so much. Harry here with Alex Alcathil, former world champion, still a world champion in my heart. My friend, you know so much about eFootball Mobile, so it's an honor to talk about this one. Korea Republic against India, second v first in the table. What can you tell me, these two, the two strongest nations after yesterday?
Oh, yesterday they were the very best ones in this Group A. India, with that calm of those turns, that control the full gameplay, is sensational to watch. Let's see if Korea Republic has something to say against the favorites so far in this game, and had the very first one attempt. Great save, wonderful play by Daniel. And tough task for everyone to face India here on mobile platform.
Incredibly tough opponent. Daniel has really proven he is the one to beat in this group for the Blue Tigers.
Oof.
And well,
nice try.
That one was a little bit wayward, but most of the time, 19 goals he scored so far. He's been on target for the majority, so watch out for him being lethal and taking his chances in this one.
At the end, it's like that control of the gameplay, that control of the churn, of the momentum, of the tactic as well, and then he's able to play low pace and high pace. That not that easy on mobile platform. And on the other hand, most of the country we got a goal.
A goal here, England v Brazil. And it is Brazil who tuck that one home.
Finesse shot with Neymar Jr. Harry.
Brazil quite happy about how that one's going. His Manveer Singh, he scored plenty of goals for India yesterday. That one, though, collides with an offside player.
And got an offside. It's all about... Oh, we got another one.
Yeah, it's Japan taking on the Spaniard in this group. And, well, Shige-san is now the only representative that Japan have to pin their hopes on in this competition after being knocked out unceremoniously of the console platform earlier on today. So Shige up 1 against Spain. Here comes Daniel, though.
Oh, nice block.
Corner to come.
Yeah, let's say the easy way to defend in mobile is to be passive, to be conservative, grab back your players, not to concede and not to lose the line. But at the same time, you are letting them to play whatever they want. And we saw Japan with that stunning shot from behind. We're still pretty same, but Korea Republic is being, for the moment, DK able to accumulate as many defenders as possible. And for the moment, still surviving the pressure of the man from India, Daniel.
Here comes that corner then for India. Played short, and it's the captain, Sonaldo.
Quite smart. That reserve from Korea Republic is like, all right, they know the corner kicks are really dangerous. Like, let's play full blue for the corner, and then once we clear, play as normally. Still the pressure. Pass in, a one-touch pass. Deflected and cleared again. Just taking it easy, DK, Harry. Don't want to make any mistake.
Dokyeom Kim for Korea Republic has been really, really good defensively. Will have to be again here as
almost
India try and skip past the defender. They've only conceded 4 goals. To put that in context, India, who are top of the table, have only conceded 3 themselves. So it's not so much been the defense that's been the problem for DK. And Korea Republic, it's mostly just been how many chances and not only how much he fashions them, but also how many he takes. More goals.
Another rebound is in, and the Richarlison is still eFootball PB. With the ball, the pass by Arthur. England, the rebound. Oh, England wasn't able to clear that ball. 2 goals out for Brazil. An important victory. He needs to win 3-on-3 today if he still has chances to go through. It's a difficult task after yesterday's performance, but this man is for sure able to make it possible.
Yeah, more difficulties for the E-Lions. Yunus Mohammed is trying his best to represent my personal nation, but so far it's been a difficult task for him. India, though. Manveer Singh. He's one that you want in goal-scoring opportunities for India, trying to slice open behind the defence, but Lee Kang-in will clear up, and this will probably be the last action we see in the first half as the referee blows the whistle. India 0, Korea Republic 0, and I believe elsewhere there's been another goal between Japan and Spain. But first, let's take a little peek into what's happening between Costa Rica and Indonesia.
Great block. And fundamental blow, because that was almost in. We saw some touch with the admin, with the referee on the Garuda Frank side of Indonesia. Mallorquin, the man trying to get it closer. As you know, the chances are quite open for those two players. 6 points already for Mallorquin, 7 points for Garuda Frank. Now the corner kick playing short. Camboya with his chance, deflecting it in the hands of Sequeira. Harry is really compact, this Group A.
Well, I mentioned another goal in the Japan-Spain game. Shige-san at the double just before half-time. Ueda tucks that one home.
Yeah, really passive defense from the Spanish side, and then quite late switching cursor. Nothing to do against the great attack of Japan. We have seen probably, Harry, that we were seeing before. Really passive defenders. Maybe the players don't want to make those big mistakes at the back, and that will mean they are not risking. That will make them possible or impossible to create many chances. So we ask them for more, right, Harry? Give us goals, dribbling, drama. Come on, go for it. Don't be scared.
That's what we want to see. I did get a little look at Japan's setup in terms of formation. They're playing as far back a defensive line as you could possibly ask for. There has been another goal in the game between Japan and Spain, but our featured match at the moment is about as closely contested as you would like to see. Bear in mind, Daniel has scored 19 goals so far, and here is that goal
Great
I alluded to.
Nakamura inside, easy peasy. 3-0 for Japan.
Spain 0. Daniel scored 19 goals to this point. Korea, after 66 minutes, Korea Republic have held firm in their defence. They'll have to do that again here as Manveer Singh is always deadly on the turn, gets some space and tries with the strike on goal, but it's way too far away.
It's not that easy at the end. Korea Republic, his target is to get safe at the back, try to do something in those counter with that 5 centre back formation. It's not been easy for India. We saw, what a that!
Well, this is England-Brazil.
My goodness, what emotions!
There's emotions all over the arena here. There is the goal that makes it now Brazil 3, England 0. Still 0-0 between India and Korea Republic that we're watching, but
yeah, just to
we're
remind,
around the hour mark between these two here, Alex, but I think there may have been some more action elsewhere.
Yeah, I think there was a goal in Costa Rica versus Indonesia.
Ooh. Here's a man you know quite well, Garuda Frank.
Yeah, I know him really well. Good player, Raman Sananta pass back, Marcelino Ferdinand, first time shot into the net. Really important goal for Indonesia to regain some confidence, and especially take some time against one of his direct opponents in this Group A.
It's so true, Alex. They need confidence, Indonesia, coming into today on this
wonderful
group in fourth
pass.
place. Here's Neymar! 4-0! PV is in some really nice form.
We see clearly there, no, like he wasn't following properly that run of Neymar. That skill, pass and run. Another one! Garuda Frank scoring 2 goals up, and it's some space for Breeze, some space to finally show the whole world what he's capable of. Yesterday, maybe the nerves, maybe the debut wasn't that easy. Great pass in, great protection of the ball, and easy finishing. 2 goals up for Indonesia, for Garuda Frank, and it's now Mallorquin, the man from Costa Rica, has to react.
Really well done by Frank. He was one of the picks in this group. We'll see the goal again. The Garuda Warriors kind of pinning their hopes on him. He is a professional player, but that is lovely, Alex.
Yeah, when he controlled the ball, having the defender at the back, being patient, is waiting the moment that the contact of the defender from the back will make them.
Well, that's the final whistle between India and Korea Republic. DK holds the free scoring Daniel to a 0-0 draw. That is a surprise. Plenty of goals out of India so far here in the group stages. Their first time firing blanks will join Japan-Spain, which is in its dying embers. Japan 3, Spain 0. Now a full-time result. Great for Japan, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. No, Japan keep pushing. Now up to 10 points on second position. In the other hand, we saw that the score was positive either for India and Korea Republic. Maybe quite boring games because, yeah, in Korea, yeah, was just focused on defense. Not many chances created, but that's it. Positive for both of them, and we'll see the end of this England-Brazil. Great points for Brazil. Could be the first victory in this competition so far for PB eFootball. Amanda should be fighting for the championship.
It's 5. It's 5 for Brazil. It's a hat-trick for Neymar Jr. And for England, every goal they've conceded in this group has almost been a carbon copy of each other. 23 goals conceded so far, and in most of them have come from a failure to clear the ball. It's not easy to do on mobile, but these pro players will and do punish you.
Yeah, pretty well execute, protecting the ball. That turn, finish shot. That's it. Maybe we can have that version of PB eFootball that we were expecting from yesterday. He will be on time or not, we will see in upcoming games. But he needs to win all the 3 games long they have to play today if still wants to have a chance to be in day 3, where everything will pay off on those quarterfinals tomorrow.
Alexander-Arnold here, the final 10 in-game minutes between England and Brazil, and, well, England fans, will you have something to cheer about here, I wonder? Jude on the turn, inside for Jared Bowen! Get in there, Lions!
Well done, Jared Bowen.
Comeback time, let's go.
It's time for
85th minute goal. Jared Bowen tucks it home quite nicely, and it really hasn't been going forward for England. It's been the problem. It's just a failure to clear the lines at the back. This is an example of Giannis in his element here.
Yeah, it's a PB eFootball 2-man pressure, leaving behind a free spot for Giannis to get finally a goal in this match.
Of course, let me not mislead you all. There probably isn't time on mobile for a comeback to happen here for England. That timer ticks down a lot quicker than you'd expect. With 6 minutes added on by the referee's assistant, we could get another goal from either side on this one. Ball given away cheaply, though, to Fred for Brazil.
Oh, it's a wake
up. The feet of Ronnie. And then,
oh. That was close.
Very close indeed.
He wasn't reading pretty well when he wake up. Still one more chance maybe for PB eFootball. Not.
Well, he wanted it, but the full-time whistle will blow. Brazil 5, England 1. Great to see a goal from Jared Bowen. And sadly for England, still no points obtained within this group. We still have matches going on, of course, but right now our focus, of course, on the 2 that just played out. A thrilling 6-goal game. I mean, what can you say, Alex?
And that's it. It's higher competition. We see clearly 3-4 countries having a great advantage in the table right after this match day. India, Japan, Korea Republic, and without finishing that game, Indonesia. After this round, they could have a big gap in front of the last 2 rounds. So we'll see if finally ends that match, but yeah.
Well, Brazil will be really happy with that result. I believe Veracity is out there with PV in the Brazil camp. Veracity
A dominant game. Congratulations are in order, but I have to ask, you're facing India next. They're currently topping the group. They had a strong performance yesterday. So what is the game plan to take them down?
Ele perguntou o que você achou do jogo e assim foi uma boa performance. E o que você acha da Índia, que está no topo da tabela?
A gente sabe que a Índia é um adversário forte, né? Líder do nosso grupo. Eles têm um potencial muito forte em relação ao chute fora da área. Já estou um pouco mais já disso aí. Vamos tentar marcar e tentar fazer um bom jogo para poder buscar os 3 pontos.
Yes, of course. We have a great opponent. India is so good, but yes, we are so confident for next game. And yes, come on Brazil for qualify.
I gotta ask you, what are they chanting up there?
Come on, vamos Guapo, pra cima!
I love the fact that you got fans. I'm loving every single second of these games, but best of luck to you. I'm gonna throw over to the Costa Rica matchup. Let's see what's going on there.
Excellent work as always, Brazil. Plenty of fans here behind closed doors. We are still in group action here. And we last left them at Indonesia 1, Costa Rica 0. That scoreline has increased for one of the nations we expect to be the favourites out of this group.
Oh, I mean, I'm completely impressed. We hadn't the chance to see that much this game. Last year I was living a few months in Indonesia, you know, doing my last stuff, opportunity as a player, a pro player. And I mean, I know Frank really, really well. I never ever seen him celebrating the goal like that. Wow, it's like great score, 3 goals up against a tough opponent as this is Mallorquin. We'll see how this finally ends, but great 3-point for Indonesia.
And I'd hate to read into it without speaking to the man himself, but maybe you feel Frank coming into today was expecting to be top of the table, so he knows being in kind of this slugfest around 4th, 3rd, 2nd place in the group with everyone kind of chasing India. Maybe he knows that every single result today and 3 points going his way will be absolutely massive. He's sportsman-like, kicks the ball back to end the game. Indonesia will take home the points in that game against Costa Rica. Philip Frank on the board today.
Yeah, great 2 games ahead for Philip Frank. Next one against Japan and the last one Korea Republic. So if he want to be on top, he needs to perform. If not, that will be tough for him, but we'll see. Really, really nice score as we see on the corner with his coach Putra and the full federation of Indonesia. We got that great chemistry, no, with the console player rooting for the mobile players. The coaches use the hard job that Indonesia is putting into this project is huge.
Indonesia with a wealth of knowledge behind them on the bench. We have a wealth of knowledge as well up there on the desk. Rachel, over to you.
Thanks, guys. Yes, we are underway, aren't we, on the mobile side of things. I can't believe round 5 is already completed. This is how fast these matches come at us. And I'm so pleased to say that Japan are back in it on this side of things. They're second now in the standings after a brilliant victory over Spain. 3-0. Commiserations to Spain on that one. England, Brazil. Brazil dominated those 3 lines again, Chris, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a sad one to see, but we did get to see a goal again, and again, I kind of resonate with Harry and what he was saying about that. Going forward hasn't been that much of a problem. He scored a couple of goals, but the defending has left a lot to be desired.
Well, CJ has joined us up here on the desk, and he'll probably have something to say about England. What went wrong today? Why did they falter again?
I mean, they're scoring 1 goal, but they're not as important as Costa Rica over in the console. So they need to find these goals at opportune times, not when it's 5-1. England not quite getting things going in day 2.
Why couldn't India get a goal today?
Okay,
They scored so many 19 yesterday, CJ.
I think Manvisi's a little bit jet lagged. You know, first day you're feeling fresh, day 2, different country here in Riyadh. I think he's just going to take a little bit to wake up, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's fair. But I think also seeing India go up against another really, really strong opponent on the Korea Republic side, that really does offer you up an idea that he isn't invincible. You know, some of the games he's played yesterday, absolutely phenomenal performances, but he still can be beaten by the looks of things. Yes, okay, 0-0 is still a fine result for him, but you can't take his foot off the pedal as well.
Yeah, exactly. Korea Republic then as well, they're moving down slightly in terms of the standings, just bringing you slightly up to speed because we haven't got many rounds to play here, so every single game matters now. India 13, Japan 10, Indonesia 10, as long as that's changed over. Yes, it has. Korea Republic 9, 6 to Costa Rica, Brazil 5. I'm saying it's now a 6-horse race, 7 and 8th, Spain and England out of it.
Yeah, I would say so at this stage.
Only 6 points left.
Yeah, they
Come
can't do it. I thought you were asking, not telling.
No, I'm basically saying there's 6 points that cannot be mathematically in it, right?
I mean, but we're thinking about from the console version. You know, you're looking at 1 point from Japan, and there's a chance. So I'll look down the table, and I'm thinking, well, Chris probably believes that England can make it.
Maybe I believe, but no, yeah, of course, impossible for them. I think, as far as I'm concerned, it is only, well, yeah, Brazil can't. No, they can't. They can just about do it, but India pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
When you look at someone like Spain, though, they were so good on the console side of things. They topped Group A, and they haven't managed to match that inside the mobile. Is that surprising?
I think, you know, sometimes it can translate, but it's mostly the European countries still have some ways to go to keep up with some of these Far East players who have been so phenomenal and so well practiced on this game. Whereas, you know, European region, it's not as popular, so I think some of these players just don't have the experience.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, we're already getting into our next matchup. Indonesia taking on Japan, 2nd and 3rd in the table, matched on points as it stands, 10 each. And actually, in terms of all their stats, not much separates them. Scored 14 have Japan, scored 13 have Indonesia, conceded 7 have Japan, and 6 have Indonesia. What do you read into this, guys? What kind of game are we going to see?
I think we'll see relatively a decent amount of goals. I'm going to go completely against what happened between India and Korea Republic. I think we see maybe a little bit more here. Both these two teams know that if they secure a win, that is them secured and done. A draw here would still probably put them within that realm as well, but a win here would secure qualification. So go for it.
Mobile side of things, we don't see massively high-scoring games anyway, though, do we, CJ?
No, we do. On mobile. On mobile?
So with India, we do. But when they're well matched, it's quite hard to break players down.
I just can't get Memphis thing out of my head. What I do know about this matchup is Indonesia, they're flying on both platforms, but Japan, I think they're angry.
Yeah, maybe they have that.
Revenge.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah, well, they got to, haven't they? They've got to obviously find something after not qualifying earlier on, and we thought they would. They're a nation that lives and breathes eFootball, so we expected much more from them, and we're expecting a lot from their mobile player as well. Oh, it's getting noisy behind me, which must mean we are about to get into matchups. So I just look behind and see who it is. I'm predicting it's Brazil. They're usually noisy. You're saying that's correct at this stage. Well, Brazil have got Spain next up. So Brazil have everything to play for. Spain, as we know, are sitting on 1 point. So even if they get 6, they'll be 7th and won't be enough to go through. Does this mean Brazil have it easy?
Well, you would have thought so, but if it's anything to go by with what we've seen on the console, that will be the opposite. Costa Rica had literally nothing to play for, could not go any further than where they were. They hadn't got a point, they hadn't scored a goal, and they stopped Japan qualifying. So you never know. Sometimes when the pressure is off, though, isn't it, right? Like, sometimes you can see that happen, like teams who are relegated in real football cause a result because all of a sudden
it's always the debate. You feel like group format, by the end of it, when teams have nothing to play for, they're just going to throw in the towel and they're going to lose 6-0, but it never happens. These teams still want to create an upset. They want to cause havoc.
Japan look like they mean business.
Still smiling.
They are up, but now they have to mean business. They're up against an Indonesia side. These guys are matched. They're all trying to get in shot as well. Hello, team. We can see you all. This is big. It will separate these two teams either way, regardless of what happens, unless we have a draw. That means they both get a point and both go up to 11 points. So it is going to be tight either way. Japan taking on Indonesia. Round 6 is coming your way. Enjoy this one in the company of Wes and Harry.
Wicked stuff as always, Rachel and crew on the analyst desk, ready to prepare us for this one. And Wes, let me tell you, I cannot wait to see this one unfold. In front of your very eyes, Shige-san, suddenly Japan's final hope in the competition. knocked out of console earlier today, going up against Indonesia, who have a promising start themselves. Let's, while we get ready for this one, take a little peek at exactly what's happening in Korea Republic, who were second in the table. They have a date with the Three Lions, or the E-Lions, I think they prefer to be called, and you'd expect maybe DK to take the majority of the points here.
You would expect so. I mean, that, you know, there have been shocks, as we've already seen, as Chris mentioned on the desk, of Costa Rica on console, that I didn't really have all that much to play for, but they were definitive in their actions towards the end of the group. But we're going to be back with Spain versus Brazil on your screens here.
Yeah, I said let's go see the Three Lions, how they're doing, and I think our production team in the back was saying that, no, you're too biased, we don't want to see England anymore, you've got two Englishmen casting. So we'll take a look at Brazil, and as Alex said previously, PV is one of those to keep a keen and sturdy eye on, because if he keeps racking up the points as he did in his previous match against England, he could well be in with a shout of making it out of this group.
Yeah, he very much would be. He'll need all the weapons at his disposal. Richarlison to Cunha. Cunha with the strike. Good save for the goalkeeper. Back to Richarlison. And Carvajal will clear that one away for Spain.
Yeah, Paulo Victor of Brazil started today off in really the perfect fashion, with a decent scoreline to really just oil up those fingers, thumbs, whatever you do on the mobile! From downtown! The stunning strike! It rocks the back of the net and it rocks the arena here. The Brazil Ultras are in fine voice. They enjoyed that one. Where's Brazil 1-0?
For Brazil, that was hit and it stayed hit. I think if you'd have took the net off it, it'd still be going. What an absolute pile driver by Joe Linton. Again, found himself in space. You'll see it again here on the left-hand side. Cuts neatly back in and just absolutely unleashes an absolute howitzer into the Spain goal. It was that stunning input that we're so used to seeing. CJ's been calling it out for the last day or so about shots in the edge of the box. But look at that, all leg, no filler. And Joe Linton gives Brazil a 1-0 lead.
I think that 2023 E-Brasileão winner was a little surprised about how much time and space he was afforded on the edge of the box. We saw that purple power bar be queued up with the strike that ended in the goal, and why not when you're given that amount of freedom? Spain will be kicking themselves about that one, and Neymar will try and get another for Brazil. But for Spain, it's been, I mean, not an ideal way to start the day after a disappointing result in their first match against Japan, I believe it was. They now go straight through the gauntlet to Brazil.
Yeah, they certainly do, and they've got to try and get themselves back into the game here. Here's Marino looking for Morata. Nino will clear. Joe Linton, the goal scorer, looking to lead the charge for the Samba boys. Joe Linton down the left-hand side looking for Richarlison. Goalkeeper's game for it. Goalkeeper had to be decisive in his action, but it was so, and it's just out for a throw-in just inside Spain territory.
Yeah, 5 to go till half-time. And around the grounds, all 4 of our games are underway here in Group A. I believe it's half-time in India, Costa Rica as well. Fred now for Brazil. They already have one. They'd love another before half-time, but it looks like the final attack of the half will go the way of Spain. Well, everyone seems to think that except the referee. He blows the whistle for half-time, and Paulo Victor is the leader entering the second half. Here is this second half of, well, India, Costa Rica, and the man who's been free scoring scores again. That'll be a big relief for Daniel. His free scoring form impressed so many yesterday. And after being, I don't want to say undone, but definitely stopped by Korea Republic, that will be like a shot of caffeine for him. 1-0.
Yeah, it certainly was a great finish, a brilliant ball, and it wasn't This time, Manveer Singh, who's been known to take all of India's goals so far. Instead, it was Pandita that took that one away as we cut to Sananta trying to make his way through the Japanese defence. Instead, Kamada will lead it clear for Japan.
Yeah, back to our featured match here. Ueda to Minamino, skips past his man. Oh, saved. Really good chance. Katsupia applauds in the background there for Japan. Still a corner with Kubo. So Kamada, cleared off the line in the end. We've got goals going in elsewhere as well, but for now, the sustained pressure from Japan against an Indonesia outfit here on mobile. We were expecting to really do the business. They've struggled form-wise up to their previous match, so this one is a prime opportunity to see these two nations play.
Yeah, we've got goals going in all around the place, but victory into Mangualam. Indonesia just trying to find and forage for an opportunity. Instead, there's a two-teammate press there, but go cross-field for Verdonk.
Well, elsewhere, Wes, we've got 3 other matches being played. I believe there's been a goal in each of those 3, while Japan and Indonesia are just cancelling each other out. And, well, I said, Daniel, free score yesterday. He's conceded. Talk me through that one.
The goalkeeper looked like he was all at sea. Got to the right-hand side of the goal and left everything open for Costa Rica. Meanwhile, Tomiyasu into Kubo. Kubo into Ueda. Ueda back to Kubo. Kamada and Ueda in towards Kubo again, but Indonesia defender clears it away. And here comes a replay of Korea Republic versus England.
We don't need to watch this, guys.
We don't. It's academic. It was Kim Min-son's post hit that left it all open for Hwang Hee-chan. Victory can't get past his man back in Indonesia versus Japan.
Well, this has been tactical and attritional between Frank and Shige. Lucky for us, we have the goals from every game going on to bring you as soon as they're appropriate, but Indonesia just being patient here for the last attack of the half. And Garuda Frank has sadly fluffed it. Here are some of those goals. This one coming in favour of Brazil against Spain.
Yeah, watch this. Mateus Cunha, what an absolute pile driver from the edge of the box. Another stunning input for Brazil. They are 3-0 ahead with around 20 in-game minutes left.
Oh, Richarlison could make it 4. Paulo Victor on fire. 5 in his first game today, 4 so far in this one. Paulo Victor, remember the name.
Yeah, he's been absolutely imperious against Spain here, but it's very much relaxed. And interesting to note, as a mobile player, isn't playing the mobile game on the desk, instead has it to the side, and he's more relaxed because he's playing it at home.
We jump into India, Costa Rica, and Daniel, well, he's behind. I think we must have missed that one because, I mean, we saw Daniel relieve the pressure on himself, finding his first goal of today after being held by Korea Republic in his first match. Now has to come from behind. This is very unfamiliar territory for Daniel. Manveer Singh has been quiet today, and the referee has pulled this one back for an offside, I believe.
Well, he had advantage play, did Manveer Singh. Overrid that from the referee, and as such, a free kick goes the other way for Costa Rica. Has to be a big result for them in terms of confidence.
And what would that do psychologically to Daniel, who was confident yesterday? We saw him getting massages from his coach/father. Has some defending to do first. It's Vargas. Oh, and it's 3. Costa Rica playing spoiler here. Unbelievable stuff. And Mayakin is just proving that he is one to be watched. And Giannis has equalised here for England as well. Stoppage time equaliser. Could we see the first point on the board for England?
I think we can, because it's ticked into 1 minute of injury time. And I think once kickoff happens, I think that is essentially the last kick of the game. But how decisive could this be for Korea Republic in their aspirations to finish in the top 4?
And there it is, a full-time whistle. England on the board. Their first point across both competitions since their very first match on console, where they took a point away from France. And while it may just be a consolation prize, a bit of pride for them perhaps, you're right, Korea Republic, what happens to them?
That's the whole point here, is that, you know, you look at what happened in console, it's now kind of being mirrored here, is that Costa Rica played spoiler in console. England may have just put Korea Republic in a bit of trouble.
You can see them anxiously watching on what's happening in the other matches. We still have 2 others being played out as we speak, but you're right, they might need favours elsewhere. Well, let's find out how England are feeling from Veracity.
Exactly that, Jonas. Talk to me. How are you feeling coming into this tournament, knowing that, you know, England on console weren't necessarily looking the strongest? Did you feel like that added any level of pressure on your shoulders?
Of course, you know, based on our performances we had in console, we kind of look at this as a second chance. And obviously it hasn't gone our way so far, but to get our first point on the board is really good. So hopefully we can get some points in our last game as well.
Well, I hope you've been having a fun time here. Let's go ahead and check in with some more eFootball action.
Amazing, Veracity, thank you so much. We jump back into Costa Rica, India, and there's been another goal against India, who entered today top of the table. Costa Rica starting to show their form, but there's been a goal elsewhere as well, Wes, and it's a late one in our featured match.
As Manfier's team looks to try and finish, at least get another goal on the board, but I need a live table, Harry, because there's so many goals going in that could mean so much, and this one is up here. It's Indonesia. Senanza, brilliant time on the edge of the box and tucks it away, and that is a brilliant finish from Indonesia.
The Garuda Warriors in the lead late on against Japan. India still chasing. More goals flicked on at the front post. But they will need, of course, more goals. 3 of them, to be exact, to even take anything from this one. As we're in the final 10 minutes, Daniel, he had such an impressive day one. Mentally, he'll know probably he did enough on day one, as again thwarted by the defence to make it to the knockout stages. But you want to hit form at the right time in these types of competitions. Here he comes now for India! And it's wide.
I mean, I don't want to chance fate here, and it might be too soon, but Daniel's not going to pull a France, is he? He can't possibly. Not from the position. He was imperious on day one. Day 2, he's just struggling a little bit just to get his gameplay going.
Costa Rica 4, India 1. And a moment to speak about Mayo Kian. He's been on incredible goal-scoring form here against an Indian team that has been very difficult to break down prior to now. Back to our featured match. Indonesia against Japan. Shige-san on the ropes.
Yeah, it certainly looks like he's up against it, and being Japan's last hope here at the FIFAe World Cup, it does dump an extra bit of pressure on top of him in terms of national pride, personal pride. It now really puts him up against the fence to really pull something out for his country here. Won't stop him from trying here. Is Maeda, probably the last chance of the game. Oh. Hatate.
You'd have to imagine that's probably last action, unless Japan can make quick work of getting this one back forward. But it's into the feet of Indonesia, and they've gone for it from ages away. But for Garuda Frank, it doesn't matter. The full-time score there. Indonesia 1, Japan 0. A huge result for Indonesia. Shows of respect, of course, from Shige-san. He still has work to do in this group. But the Garuda Warriors, they march on. And they, on both platforms, have been formidable.
It's in their DNA, Harry. It is what they do. They come into esports events. They are doing it at will across titles and across events. Indonesia are asserting themselves as a real emerging superpower within esports.
Indonesia 1, Japan 0. I need to hear how our analysts feel about those round of games, because that was electric.
It was indeed. Thanks so much, Harry. Well, only one more round to go for the guys on the mobile side of things here in Group A. 6 matches already played, gone just like that. As we have a race through some of the highlights then from Korea Republic and England. It was great to get a draw for the Three Lions. A little bit too late though.
Yeah, a little bit too late, but the big implication from that one is Korea Republic are still sitting in fourth. If they'd won that game, they would have had 12 points. They would have been safe by my calculations. They are now not heading into their final game because they just drew with England, who didn't have a single point.
Yeah, exactly. It's always nice to just spoil the party at the end a little bit.
Give me
And that's
Costa
what
Rica vibes.
England may have done. We're not going to jinx anything just yet. As we just see some more goals going from some of the top teams in the competition, the likes of India, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, all sitting in those top 4 spaces at the moment. Just a confirmation of results then from round 6 of Group A. So Spain lost 6-0 to Brazil. We said Spain with nothing to lose, but with everything to gain. As we just look at the results there, we had England 1, Korea Republic 1, as we found out. Indonesia 1, Japan 0, Costa Rica 5.
Wow.
That's surprising. India 1.
Have India woken up yet? A draw and a loss now, and that's a massive result. 5 goals. Costa Rica as well. They're nipping at the toes of a Korea Republic in 4th spot. They're sitting just outside playoff contention.
Yeah, that's a huge result for Costa Rica because now they have a really, really big opportunity, but they've got to go up against Japan next as well. I'm sure we're going to talk through some of the games, but yeah, India, that's their first loss over the entirety for Daniel, and I think it's going to be curious to see how he bounces back from that, because I think, you know, as he said, it's his very first physical tournament that he's been to. Just had a really bad loss against a potential competitor. How does he switch on going forward?
Yeah, and you look at the likes of Brazil upwards, so the top 6 are all still in it. You would have thought, when we said after day 1, Brazil's last match was against India. That would have been troublesome. Now, it looks like a real winnable match for the Brazilian side, CJ.
Yeah, well, with question marks on Daniel's fitness, I guess. Day 1, he was electric. Day 2, he just hasn't quite found his feet yet. Brazil, though, yeah, they've got all the momentum, a massive win over Spain. They're going all about it the right way, I guess, but they're still 8 points. They're 2 outside. Costa Rica in a great spot as well.
Costa Rica do have a very difficult game as well. There's a lot of difficult games going on. So Brazil going in against India. Is this not the time to play him, though, in that sense? He's just lost his first game. He's already qualified. He'll still want to finish first. That's the problem that they're going to have, but just lost 5-1. A lot to play for still.
You really look at the form, don't you, the mobile side of players? Yeah. You can't really predict it. It's up and down all over the place. No one's particularly going in just that upward trajectory. As we look at our final feature matchup, Brazil taking on India, the one we want to see. Brazil need to get a win here. They're currently on 8 points. A win would give them 3 points, really put them in that battle in the 4th, 5th position. They need that. Whereas India, they will be a top 4 come what may now. They're 13 points. You know, regardless of what happens elsewhere, they'll stick in that spot.
Yeah, no, they can't be moved from the top 4 now, but that seeding does make a big difference. You don't want to necessarily go in against anybody in that first seed spot if you possibly can help it. Finishing first does put you in a good spot.
Why do you think Daniel has dropped off a little bit? This new player, first tournament, vibes, young.
Well, is it the confidence from day 1? We saw with France in the console edition, they sort of went to bed, hey, we're number 1 in the group, how good's this? They wake up, they get shocked, and then they're not in the playoffs. So perhaps he was pretty comfortable with day 1 and he just hasn't quite woken up yet, Daniel.
Yeah, it could be a couple of things, you know. As you said, it could quite literally be a tiredness, that kind of thing, but like, you can't put that in. It could be the same for everybody else. Yeah. I think it could literally be he came out of the blocks, high expectations from yesterday, hasn't necessarily played as great as he possibly could do. I mean, you know yourself, some days you just don't play as good. It just, that's the way it is. So he could have just maybe just had a bad start today. is already pretty secure. There's a couple of different reasons.
I'm going to say, he was so excited about game day 1 for his first ever competition. Adrenaline was skyrocketed.
Yeah.
He didn't sleep very well last night. He hasn't managed to match that same energy, has he, in day 2 here? Well, he's got to match it now because he's going up against Brazil, who could spoil the party of a lot of other teams. Well, let's learn now a little bit more about our Brazilian team.
Olá, meu nome é Paulo Victor, minha gamer tag é PV_eFootball e eu sou do Brasil. Eu sinto uma responsabilidade muito grande por representar o meu país, porém é meu sonho desde criança, independente do esporte. Eu estou muito feliz, muito contente e completamente preparado. Me sinto muito honrado em representar o meu país, é um sonho desde criança e eu vou fazer o meu melhor. Ganhar o Mundial da FIFAe representa muita coisa para mim, um avanço muito grande na minha carreira, no meu dia a dia, na minha família também, na parte financeira. Também a parte de visibilidade também vai ser muito bom para mim na minha carreira como criador de conteúdo. Produzo conteúdo no YouTube, também no Instagram e vai ser um avanço muito bom para mim, de modo pessoal e profissional. Gostaria de dizer que, independente do resultado, se eu sair daqui campeão ou não, cheguei aqui na maior humildade possível, vou fazer o máximo para conquistar o campeonato e eu quero que todos vocês se sintam representados e fiquem contentes com tudo isso.
It must feel pretty good, mustn't it, to put on that Brazilian shirt, especially here in the virtual football world, because you have to just go and walk down any of these tunnels and you can still see Brazilians lifting trophies in other virtual football games as well. So it's very difficult not to be inspired. We're going to go into the matchup as we see this huddle here. Predictions from this last round. Brazil, India, CJ, where are you going?
It's time that Daniel wakes up. Manveer Singh putting on a clinic here. I think they get their first win of day 2.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he turns it around now, gets the win, secures #1 spot.
Surprise as well, we're not going to Brazil, India. We're actually going to change tack to 180 and go to England versus Spain. We love to keep you guys on your toes here. Cannot wait for this one. What can the 3 Lions do? They just got their first point. Can they get some more? Round 7 coming your way in the company of our casters. Enjoy, guys.
Well, England have just put themselves on the scoreboard. The goal difference is -25, but they do have one beautiful point next to their name, thanks to what happened against Korea Republic. Spain -17 as well. It's a battle at the bottom of the table.
Giannis, that's a violation. Personally, I wouldn't have it. That's a violation. No, in all fairness, the point that they have gained might be the most significant point in the day.
It keeps happening in eFootball.
Because, well, yeah, quite. It's
from Costa Rica
the
earlier.
nature of the esport is that now this has kind of put that top 4 berth in jeopardy for, let me just count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 different nations. Brazil need a win. Spain are obviously out at the moment, or are out of it. They've only got 1 point. We're now going to cut across to Brazil versus India.
Yeah, do you know what? We told you, we were joking. We're actually back to Brazil versus India. It is ready. And Daniel against PV. Daniel is having a bit of a shocker by his standards today. A loss and a draw. Who would have thought? Against Costa Rica, a total collapse.
Well, here's the thing, is that if you come in as a debutant, as Cunha gets the ball away from him, Richarlison back to Cunha. Cunha looking to make the space and makes the shot and makes the goal. And you can see the elation from Brazil.
Straight in there, Brazil. PV was saying how much this means to him, personally speaking. He wants to be as involved in videos on YouTube, everywhere he can be as he possibly can be. Taking opportunities like this one is how that starts.
Well, interestingly enough, the point I was about to make is Daniel, it's his first competition. Day 1, he came in with no fear. Day 2, he came in with all of the expectation. You know, I hate to mention it, but the 2 newscasters here are probably the Manveer Singh fan club after his exploit, you know, and his brilliant play. But it's Brazil here that have taken the game by the scruff of the neck, and they need to keep that pressure on as we cut across to a replay here in Spain versus England. We've got goals going in around the grounds as John Stones and Luke Shaw. And it's a pot shot for Morata that puts that into the back of the net, and we will keep you across Japan versus Costa Rica as well, because I believe there has been a goal in that game, and that could be massive in terms of the outcome of this entire group, as Fernandez plays in Ali and Bremner. Well, Bremner will take it away. Here's Fred to Joe Linton. Here comes the replay. Who's got the goal? It looks to be going the way of Costa Rica. It's Joel Campbell with a stunning stroke from the edge of the box, and Costa Rica have taken a vital lead.
Japan just can't deal with Costa Rica. It was Costa Rica that knocked them out earlier on console. And now on mobile, Costa Rica might do the exact same thing. Japan, they were third coming into this, only a point ahead of Costa Rica.
This could be history repeating itself, folks, because, again, with that goal and with that result, Costa Rica would leapfrog Japan in terms of points as the header goes over the bar for Brazil. But that could be massive. It's so vital, all of the goals, especially with how quick this game can turn. I believe there's been another goal in Japan versus Costa Rica. We'll wait for this corner before we see that. Here's Fred, delivers it into the box. Oh, what an improvised shot there. And there's another goal in England versus Spain. Jared Bowen across the box. It's Ollie Watkins who makes it England 1, Spain